time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Stupid O'Clock. I'm Joe Dog McHill. Got the rest of the crew in here. Shoot. Okay. That didn't work at all. So we'll go back to this one and make this.
No sound. No sound.
No sound on that one, Joe. Oh my
Okay,
God, there's two of them. That's okay. That's better.
Playing with the new toys.
Obviously. What was that? I'm sorry, I slid in right at the, right at the last minute. What was that thing I just saw about? I guess you can customize your backgrounds or something like that. Is that new? He did it again.
What?
Oh, your audio is cut out.
Oh.
Oh, well, I'm not sure.
What?
Hang on a second.
I haven't seen Double Joe, and I haven't even started drinking yet. That's trouble.
There we go. That one looks better.
All right. Yeah, that's the one I always use. I was just trying something.
Well, that one looks kind of blurred, too much light, or it's too sensitive.
Yeah, too bright. Yeah.
That one looks good, sort of. As good as it can with Joe Dog in the picture.
I think what part of the problem is with that second one is it's just off to the side enough that was it a clock or whatever with the glass face behind it. The light's hitting that and coming back, so it's giving you too much light.
Yeah. Oh, there's Zach. Hey, Zach. Hey,
I shot Zach a link on Facebook. So
okay, yeah, I want to hear. I want to hear his take on what happened to the 3D rocket.
Yeah.
Well, it made it to the second stage. Second stage, it separated. Second stage lit, then started spitting the important stuff out the tailpipe.
I guess they didn't print enough fuel.
No.
Yeah.
Hello,
Rich. Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Double Joe, double puns. Let me work on that. I am a punny guy for sure.
So I started my gardening today. I started planting. I started doing seedlings. I put a bunch of seeds in some dirt.
Oh, okay, but it's in the house?
Greenhouse, yes.
Greenhouse, okay. Because we still got one more good freeze or one more good frost coming.
Maybe.
End of April. Maybe 2.
The way this fall spring's going, we might have another one in July.
I wouldn't mind it.
Hey, Carl. Hey, Donna. Who else we got? Hey, there's a guy with your name, Rich. Let's see. Zach. Okay. And Dan. Okay. Dan chasing nurses again. So.
It was just a Animaniacs joke.
So, I went to the store yesterday to get some groceries. It's raining just a bit, so instead of I've got all this cardboard in the back of my truck that I'm going to take to the recycling center when I get a chance. So instead of opening the whole back gate, I just opened the glass up top, turn around, grab the groceries, turn around and put them back in the back of the truck, and the air shock on my back glass didn't hold the glass up. So I turned around and smacked my nose right on the glass as it came down. And,
John, that's an easy fix. It's about $30 to fix it.
I want to spend $30 on it. Besides which, I think it was because it was cold and rainy. So
no, when they start doing that,
when they go. I've got to replace the pair on the tailgate of the van. I'm tired of bumping my head on the tailgate.
Yeah, I replaced the ones on the hood and the tailgate of my car. Now, when you open the tailgate, you better get out of the way. And now, when you lift the hood, you hit that second latch and step back, and the hood raises itself. What?
And then it was quiet. And then it was quiet.
There's Zach.
There's Zach. Get him in here.
Hello.
Hey, Zach.
How's it going?
I guess Zach's now a regular on the Stupid O'Clock.
Right, there you go.
Hey.
I got nothing else to do. Just
Hey, Zach. What does this remind you of? Shh. Okay.
a really long roller coaster that did not end well.
Oh, what's the official story on that?
There isn't one yet. They're like, we're learning. I mean, they politely reminded us every 5 minutes that it was probably going to fail in 7 hours of countdown coverage. So we were prepared.
Yeah.
Sounds like they weren't.
Well, they deafened all their headphone users. Yeah, they all now need hearing checks after they got through Miko because they like the two hosts screamed
Oh,
and peaked both mics at the same time. And yeah,
there were two mics, two women, and they both screamed at the same time in stereo.
I can't remember the last time I experienced that.
We were watching in the Discord chat, and I kept it family rated. I said, yeah, pennies will stick to the wall tonight.
I need to.
Because that's what it sounded like.
Oh.
I'm glad I wasn't in that Discord call at the time.
Yeah.
We had about 3 different ones going yesterday.
Yeah. No, this was actually during the live. I ended up watching Relativity's broadcast. Hey, they were 45 seconds ahead of you.
Did you miss much?
Yeah. Well,
what's funny
I knew
about
it
that?
went bad before you did.
What's funny about that is Joe gets to see the rocket fail and then goes to see your channel to watch you watch the rocket fail.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then does a reaction video posted on YouTube.
Say what, Dan?
And then you go and do a reaction video to watching Zach watch the rocket fail and post it on YouTube.
And then I react to him reacting to me. Yeah.
What a vicious little circle.
Yeah, they tried. I mean, they hit not most. They hit more than half their milestones. So,
hey, second stage engine did light.
Did it though?
Yeah, it did. Because I mean, you could see it sort of gimbling, and then you saw sparks coming out the back of it. Then it really started gimbling.
Yeah, it was trying. It looked like it had a good 1 to 2 seconds. Yeah. And then something was wrong with the mix, and it went very blue, and then it went very red, and then it went nothing. And then it just started farting sparks. And then they're like, okay, activate the FTS and blow it up.
Well, hey guys, it didn't have enough speed.
Is this supposed to go in the rocket?
Is that 3D printed?
Hey, well, you remember when on Rocket Lab when the battery did the hot swap and the second one didn't go?
Yeah.
Come to find out, it came unplugged during launch.
Yep.
It now has a zip tie around it.
So
a 10-cent zip tie.
They got their next first stage built, so they're going to start testing that, and I'm sure there's an FAA investigation that'll happen, and so it'll be a little bit until they're back out of the pad again. Mind you, this one's been on the pad since I went in August, so it's not like it was they got there quickly.
And first stage worked perfect.
That was a surprise.
It was a pretty blue.
Yeah, no photographers were prepared for how blue their the streaks and stuff were going to turn out. So people are going to have to change their settings now because it almost went white in a lot of them because they were overexposing because it was so blue. And you could see it up in Jacksonville. So you could, even at that size of a rocket, you could see it, 2 hours north? So.
And they're using natural gas. They're not using pure methane, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Sure. Let's go with
that. That's going to be the problem. I got a feeling Vulcan's going to do the same thing. Because it's running natural gas. See, natural gas has other stuff in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Other hydrocarbons.
And they may not play well with each other.
Is Vulcan natural gas?
Yep.
Teach me something new. I haven't started my Vulcan prep yet.
Yeah.
Too many rockets in between now and then.
Well, that's the one nice thing about United Launch Alliance is it takes so long to get their rockets off the pad. You got plenty of time to do your homework.
Yeah.
So
Once it's out at the pad, it's got its fairing and everything, Peregrine Lander's online, then we'll get ready.
It is ULA, unable to launch anything.
Well, we're beating the
ULA,
Russians.
another launch anomaly.
We're beating the Russians, so at least our stuff is getting off the ground.
Yeah, ULA might not be ULA much longer though.
Who bought them?
Well, they won't confirm or deny it's for sale, but it's for sale. So there's
somebody's already making a plan for it.
Well, it sounds like it's going to get broken up.
Uh,
Possibly. I don't know why. They only have one rocket, but we'll see. Not the first time, won't be the last.
Northrop Grumman is not ULA. They have absorbed them.
Yeah. Yeah, they absorbed a few people. ULA is Lockheed Martin and Boeing. The joint venture of the two. So
that's probably who's leaving the alliance.
Boeing?
Boeing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. That wouldn't look good on the resume.
Well, Boeing's got their Starliner that might actually make it into space here in the near future.
It got delayed again.
For the record, I am not the Richard Asplund associated with Boeing. There's a Richard Asplund, at least there used to be a Richard Asplund that was some type of vice president in Boeing.
You sure? Or they told you to tell us that?
Last time I checked, because I don't have the kind of money that I should have if I was.
I have it on good authority that Rich is the vice president in charge of Killian's.
I wish.
Makes him very popular on the pad.
Although I would probably end up drinking my investment rather than actually getting it paid out.
Now, Zach, the double launches today, I know they got the second, did they get 3 and 4 off?
No, they scrubbed due to unforeseen issues. What those unforeseen issues are, we don't know. Did someone get run over? Did someone cut themselves?
Was it too damn cold out on the pad?
Yeah, we don't know.
But here's the thing. If they're now known, are they still unforeseen because they're now known? Yeah. We're scrubbing because of foreseen issues just means it's one of those weird turns of phrase.
Yeah. Just tell us it's scrubbed, you screwed up, you unplugged something and move on.
Really?
We broke.
Surfer got downrange something.
Hey, it's in Florida. They probably took the title for the rocket down to the pawn place and pawned the rocket title, and the rocket people title people showed up and repossessed the rocket.
Today was Sweden and Norway.
Yeah.
Some zombie on bath salts runs across the pad, trying to eat a worker
or a Tide Pod.
Oh,
don't need it.
No, I was just thinking when Rick said that made me think of something. I wonder how many birds are going to scatter on Starship launch.
That is a bird.
Scatter or drop dead. Yeah.
All right. The big static fire, boy. I didn't know there was that many birds down there.
I don't think SpaceX did either.
That was the one thing I liked about that. The rocket launches down in New Zealand. It's like one of the first ones they did. There were all those sheep in the field next to where the rocket was launching. Rocket ignited. You saw sheep going everywhere. Hilarious. Yes.
Oh.
Now they go off, and it's like
another one. Okay.
Long as they don't show up with a truckload of mint sauce, we're okay.
Well, McGregor. The cows in McGregor now just it's like, damn.
It's like again.
What's the matter, Rich?
I miss the days of the Old West where men were men and sheep were scared.
Oh.
Everybody's standing around watching the rocket launch. Rocket takes off. It's going. Everybody's ooh ah, and all the cows are like moo. It's like,
oh God.
moo.
Was it the first Proton that they installed the gyros upside down?
That was one of them.
Yeah,
Did
it
feel
went
full
up.
of sheep.
It went up.
How do you install a gyro upside down?
They didn't put the arrow sticker on it, right?
Get a field full of cows and a field full of sheep right next to it. This way, even the animals are like moo, ba, instead of ooh, ba.
Yeah, but
I'm not even drunk yet. I'm not even buzzed yet. This is 1/3 of a beer.
now I don't know if you've seen the video where this guy was actually at the launch filming, and it's filming, and then it turns. He goes, "Oh, that's going to be fun." And he goes, "Okay, I hope it don't come this way. Go that way. Go that way. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's going to be bad." Russians don't believe in an FTS, do they?
No. There's that
They
video.
don't have to. Their stuff blows up automatically. Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Everything's fine.
Oh,
Is that
look,
it?
it's taking off. It's beautiful. Oh, look at it. It's gorgeous.
This is not in slow motion, I don't think, either.
Oh, wait.
Oh, no, it is.
It's drifting a little bit. Oh, it's drifting back the other way.
It looks like it's spinning.
Yeah, when you see that much gimbal on the pad, it's that's almost like Astra.
Yeah.
Astra.
That
That-
ain't good. Yeah, that's okay.
That's more like STs.
Yeah.
Oh, special delivery.
Now
That's
it's
more like
spinning
knockoff
a
Black
rotisserie.
Cat.
And now it's spinning like crazy.
Yeah. And this is where most people would have long blown it up already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, Russia's like, let's watch and see what happens.
Maybe it'll miss the ground.
Just go right through.
Whoa! Disintegration.
We
There
didn't
went the
need that, did we? Oh.
There went the payload, and there went the booster rockets, and there goes the fuel tank, and there goes
Yeah,
There
they
goes
didn't-
the budget.
And ground.
Wonder if it'll be friends with it.
Yeah, that video, the guy goes, yeah, hope it goes, hope it doesn't come this way. He goes, all right, everybody, open your mouth, open your mouth, open your mouth.
I want to know how big of a dent it made in the ground.
Dent? No, that's massive crater.
Was that Balkanar?
Should be, yeah. Somewhere over there.
Because it's kind of funny. You got this area over near Mongolia where the Russians used to do all their nuclear tests. All right. Place covered in craters. But most of the tests were underground. So the craters are like collapse craters. Not so at Balkanar. Most of those are impact craters.
I shouldn't laugh, but good Lord.
Don't you remember Stephanie telling the story about the video of one of the Soyuz launches?
Which one? There's been like 6,000.
Yeah. Rocket probably hadn't cleared the tower before you start seeing fire trucks swooping in to start putting out the grass fires all around the pad.
Oh,
It's kind of, if you've ever seen any of the launch facilities at Baikonur, they dig this big crater and they line it with concrete, and the rocket sits on a platform, and that's where all the flames go from the rockets in that big crater. And it's like every time they lose a rocket, like we just saw, you hear this. The bad news is we lost a rocket. The good news is we've got a hole for a new launch facility.
Well, there might be a Soyuz up for auction in the near future if you want one. Kazakhstan's taken one away from Russia.
I've heard about that. Russia has not been paying their rental fees or whatever.
Yeah.
And not only are they not paying the rental fees, but now they owe penalties for renting the facility, and it's in the hundreds of millions now. So
yeah, they also have a plane over here in Toronto, I think it is, or Ottawa, that they haven't paid on in a few years either. So, but yeah, if you want a Russian plane and a Russian rocket, watch your local auction house soon.
or you could just buy a 1956 Volkswagen and be better off.
now I've been reading the news lately. Somebody's noting that Russia has been pulling Key 54 55s out of these old mothball depots, refurbishing them and sending them to Ukraine. Okay. And it's, these tanks came out, I think the design is 1948. And they started fielding them in the Russian army or Soviet Union in 54 and 55. Okay. And everyone's saying, oh, they can't hold up against any of the modern tanks. And I'm like, dude, if you're wearing a uniform and you got an AK-47, you're going to love that tank. Okay. Because having a good chunk of steel between you and some bullets and artillery is a lot better than a wool
Just
coat.
out walking around, yeah.
Well, did you hear about the 2 Ukrainian pilots that flew over to Poland and got to fly some A-10s?
No.
Yeah. Says we just need 3.
And lots of bullets.
Oh, the other one I like is Iran has been trying to sneak weapons into Yemen for the Yemen civil war. Okay. And the Navy, the British Navy and the American Navy, keep intercepting them and finding all these. They keep intercepting the fishing boats and finding all these. And they found, 10,000 so far, I think, AK-47s and various anti-armor missiles and rocket launchers and rockets and all sorts of stuff like that. Ammunition, magazines. They finally got the go-ahead to take all those confiscated weapons and send them to Ukraine.
Hey, they'll be put to good use.
Which I find hilarious because Iran is also selling the drones to Russia that are being used against Ukraine. So I think there's a little bit of poetic justice there.
Oh dear.
Oh, and John, I get what you're talking about. The fuses off those landmines, but that still was just a little unnerving.
The Iraqis did the same thing. We'd go out and we'd have to escort EOD because EOD was going to take control of the landmines and take them off and blow them up. Okay. So we would go out there and we'd meet up with the Iraqi police and they'd drive us out to where the demining operation was going on. You get out there and this pickup truck come out of the minefield, then you start tossing the landmines out. And it's the one that were used. There were these 2 landmines that were real popular in Iraq. They were both Italian made. A Vomera 69, and it was a set of 3 types of landmines. There was an anti-armor mine. There was an anti-personnel blast mine that had a rubber diaphragm on top. And if you stepped on it and dented the rubber diaphragm, that's what set it off. And then the other one, the 69, was a bounding fragmentation mine. It had the big 3 prongs on top. You kick the prongs, it would shoot up out of the air about head level and then explode. And we used to find those darn things all over the place. And of course, to defuse it, you just take the prongs off.
So basically, what you're saying is they were designed by Fiat.
Pretty much. No, but that video, I mean, just see them throwing it up out the truck, back of the truck. It's like, yeah, okay. But when the dump truck backed up, I mean, we're talking the big dump truck, tandem axle, they call them 9-yard dump trucks. And you could just see them just falling out the back. It's like, oh, dear God. If that hit, it's not. If they missed one fuse, it would be a.
Oh, that would be terrible. And the thing is, I don't know if you noticed it, but being the type of person that deals with landmines, I noticed it. There's that pile of mines behind the truck where the guys are throwing the mines out.
Yes, dear.
Hello, Donna.
They're saying hello.
Hello, Donna.
Hi, Joe's Keeper.
Hello.
It's the keeper of the Joe. Yeah. Anyway,
did we pay our invoice to keep them?
The one thing I noticed in that big pile of mines is in the very back, there's an O-ring laying on the ground. That O-ring is supposed to be either with the fuse or with the protective cap that goes on the mines, which means somebody missed the O-ring. If they can miss an O-ring, they can miss a fuse. That's so. I'm like,
Plus, they were dumped. In fact, they were dumping them around a lot of other munitions.
As you do.
Like,
One cherry bomb and the whole place goes up.
It's one way to go out with a bang.
No, that'd be a boom.
no, that would be thunder rolling, because you would have booms upon booms upon booms, and flying booms and flaming flying booms.
I like that imagery. I may have to use that.
Well, what about the video where they detonated a munitions dump in Iraq, and they were like 2 or 3 miles away from it?
That was my unit.
And all of a sudden you hear.
They said, and all those 122 millimeter rockets going off, and they had this 75 millimeter helicopter rockets and the 57 millimeter MiG rockets.
And the guys were diving behind rocks going, oh, somebody messed up. That was your unit?
Yes, and what they don't tell you is there's actually 5 bunkers there.
Oh.
There's 4 small ones and 1 big one in the middle, and the big one in the middle is so big you can drive a semi-truck in it. Out the other side, there's 2 lanes. There's a 2-lane highway down the middle of that bunker for getting munitions in and out.
Why does that sound like an East Tennessee fireworks factory?
Because it was the Tennessee Army National Guard's 212th Engineer Battalion that got
I didn't even know. Oh dear.
That got the order to go in and set all that up.
Hi, Billy. Look at these bottle rockets.
Don't laugh. I know some of those people, and
I am some of those people.
And if you know the sergeant that I know, you almost got his speech pattern down pretty good.
Now,
I've been practicing.
Is this the group out of Jasper?
Actually, they're broken up into several units, and they're not as big as they used to be, because they changed a bunch of it over when they added them to the cavalry. they changed them over to regimental troop services, RTS. So there are now several engineered troops, which I'd never heard of an engineered troop before. There are now several engineered troops all over the state. So, but the 212th is still out there. Most of what they do now is bulldozers and dump trucks, and they're still combat engineers, but they're more the heavy side of it.
And Rich, just to give you an idea of where we're talking about, do you remember the movie with Ed O'Neill, Dutch?
Yeah.
Where they stop to get the fireworks, and there's these places with neon lights and everything that's where we're talking about.
Indiana is almost as bad because Illinois is very anti-firework. You can get massive fines for a freaking sparkler in Illinois, or at least used to a couple years ago. So they would always come over to our side, and we'd have just bunches and bunches of fireworks places, warehouses right there on the state line. And then you had, and within view of the state line, and you had Illinois State Patrol on their side of the state line with binoculars catching license plates of people going in and out of the facility, and then having people get pulled over, 2 miles into the state.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the thing is, where we used to live, the fireworks were illegal. And they're still illegal to shoot off in our area, in our county. We've got 5 fireworks stands right there on the Georgia border.
Anything beyond a Class C was illegal for a very, very long time. 2005, they went ahead and lifted a lot of those restrictions. I don't know why, but okay. It's not like they actually did anything to the restrictions beforehand, usually. So it was always very interesting. In fact, the idiots around where I live don't understand that midnight means midnight on the 4th of July. So now that I work from home, I don't care. Excuse me, but when I worked from the office, I always took the 5th of July off because they would stop shooting off fireworks about 5 minutes before my alarm was supposed to go off for me to be able to, get up and get ready for work.
Yeah. And John we were talking about a bottle rocket war at one time, and I didn't realize it, but John was there.
For one of them, at least.
And
oh boy.
This is back when the bottle rockets had the paper fuses to where, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I would light the 12-pack of bottle rockets. I would just peel it apart, pull the fuses to one side, twist, light, and throw like a German grenade. And you'd see it come sailing at you, and all of a sudden you hear bang! And then you've got a cluster bomb of bottle rockets.
You ever have that one asshole that would do that to a 50 battery of Saturn moon rockets?
I'm the asshole.
My favorite one was the 24-shot battery, but the 36 was nice too. So
the 24s you could almost always make sure went off midair, whereas anything more than that, you're risking that the rest of them are going to either be disconnected from the fuse on bounce, or have some weird trajectory upon bounce.
Well, Rich, the one time that I did that. Poor Scott. He wore the cargo pants, but they were called BDUs back then. And he had his bottle rockets and everything in pockets. I was able to lob one into his pocket. John was there.
So let's rewind 30 some years. Young Mr. Ritchie was still in high school. No, just out of high school, because I was actually legal to buy bottle rockets. So me, one of my best friends, actually two of my best friends, and one of their little brothers and one of his friends were driving around a very rural area, just being idiots, throwing jumping jacks out of the car window, firing bottle rockets out of the car, stuff like that. We get pulled over.
Mm-hmm.
About 2 a.m, and the reason we got pulled over is the fireworks were making so much noise that someone thought they were gunshots, and they looked out the window and saw a car with an arm hanging out of the trunk. Earlier that day, my best friend from Spencer's purchased, it's just a stuffed arm that has a bit of fabric and like a steel pipe so that can be placed inside the trunk. The arm can be outside the trunk as kind of a gag type thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was hanging outside my trunk as we were driving around. So somebody thought there was a body in our trunk. Cops come, give us a hard time, and a lot of just be cool, just relax. As me and my best friend still to this day, we're out there being, in Dungeons and Dragons terms, the face of the party. So we ended up having all the fireworks we had on us confiscated. And then, a couple of the people in the car were like, oh man, it's my best friend and I were looking at each other like, we still have 3 times as much back at the house. Come on, just relax. Because back then, the fireworks stand that we went to always did the 3-for-1 and 5-for-1 type deals. But because they knew we were young and we were spending so much money, they actually chunked in a ton of more stuff on top of it. So we got better deals than their, 3-for-1 and 5-for-1 deals that they were giving out. So that was always fun.
Oh yeah, Red Bank Police and Fireworks. Do you remember Dewey?
Oh yeah.
New Year's Eve, I sat and planned, and 7 gross of bottle rockets will fit inside a cinder block. To launch from. This was in the backyard. 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year. In went the sparkler. Off they went. I mean, I had to hit the deck. I didn't get to see any of this because they were literally going off over top, this far away. Yeah. It finally, when it finally ends, goes and stops, I hear whoop, whoop in the front yard. So I poked my head around the house. Dewey gets out of the car and goes, come here. Hey, Dewey.
You know it's bad when you know the cops on a first name basis.
Yeah.
Deputy Dewey.
Long story short, he goes, I should haul your ass to jail, but I'm so impressed. That was beautiful. I was afraid to get out of the car. Now, get all this shit off my car, and if another one goes off, I'm hauling you to jail. Yes, sir. So I had to clean all the bottle rockets off the police car.
And nowadays they have nifty little things that you can set off via your cell phone. Powercreations.com, I think, is the name of the company that sells it, so that you can actually have your display set up and you can actually key stuff from afar.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's the fun in that?
No, that could actually be very, very fun because you don't have to be there when it goes off.
You can plant the shit in advance and wait for certain people to go off and then set off your mortars.
Can you hear me now?
I could 5 minutes ago, but not right now. Yep.
Remember that $20 you owe me? Yeah. I can be anywhere.
John, do you remember Kim Kofer? The Red Bank police girl?
Maybe.
One year we decided 4th of July to go shoot all our fireworks at Red Bank Elementary.
Old one or new one?
The old one. There at the corner of Morrison Springs and Dayton Boulevard.
Yeah. It's a food line, or it's a food line.
Food City now.
Food City.
She comes whipping in, and she goes, "What the hell are y'all doing? You're shooting the fireworks off." She goes, "This is school property. It's federal offense having this on school property. I should haul all of you to jail." And then she turns and looks dead in my eyes and says, "And you know better." Yes, ma'am. You know, it's bad when the cop looks you in the eyes and says, "You know better."
Oh, we had one, I believe it's New Year's Eve. The church group I was in, the guys that were supposed to be in charge of us had a car trunk full of fireworks, and they were still illegal in Georgia at that time. Evidently, they had spent like a week driving back and forth to North Carolina to buy fireworks and bringing them back, set off everything in about 30 minutes, and then had a some kind of a siren that one of them had somewhere and hooked it up to the car battery and was setting that off too. Cops did not show up. Next day, the two dudes that were supposed to be in charge of the church group were out in the church parking lot policing the area of all the
munitions,
remains of the exploded firecrackers and bottle rockets and whatever. And they'd find one that the fuse had burned out, but it didn't go off. And they'd put that aside. I don't know what they did, but it's still highly illegal. But this was like midnight on New Year's Eve, and you could hear all over the county all these fireworks going off, and just no one is all the county cops, all the city cops of all the different cities are just going, "I ain't leaving the huddle house until this is over." Another cup of coffee, Mabel. And seriously, it's like they're going to do it anyway. We ain't got room in the jail for all of them.
Do you know Estes D12 Zero will list a 50-pack of Black Cat firecrackers?
I didn't know that before, but I know it now.
Yeah, we bought the D12 O's, which have no delay. It just blows fire out the end of it. Balsa sticks about 2 foot long. Duct tape. Stick the firecrackers on top. Tape those on. Bottle rocket fuse. Light and run. It gets those firecrackers up so high, you're seeing the flashes before you start hearing them.
I know a C completely taken apart, all the ignition material ground up with a mortar and pestle, put into a piece of paper with a candle wick fuse. That fuse is a lot faster than you think it is.
Yeah.
And it will put a 3-inch round burn on your forearm, a 2-inch round burn on your stomach, and take all of your eyebrows and nose hair.
Sounds like you learned this from personal experience.
Yes.
And Carl says, I never understood why fireworks were so exciting to people.
If you don't understand it, it's very hard to explain.
You need a little bit of red in your neck.
Yeah.
This is true. I invite people to go to my YouTube channel. There's a pair of videos of me setting off lots of fireworks, and I actually had it for a mortar tube. I had a 2-foot tall compressed cardboard cylinder that was the core of a roll of plastic. This thing, the core itself is like 1.5 inches thick, and you put some bottle rockets and you put some Roman candles and things like that into it, and mortars, and it gives them some sufficient loft to get way on up there before they go pop.
Well, John, Dan.
Some of them went boom instead of pop, but
John, Dan, Rich, have you ever been to, everybody shows up with fireworks and the guy standing out there with the lighter goes, I don't know what this one does. We may want to back up.
Welcome to my world.
Now, being at a point in my health where I am not as fast or agile as I used to be, I am less of an enthusiast of lighting them directly, which is one of the reasons I was looking up that Pyro Creation site and how to sequence things and stuff like that. And it's truly, truly beautiful. But I still love watching them go off. And, again, if I can find a piece of land where I can actually do a sequence like that now and just go ahead and get a milk crate, lined up with how many ever tubes I can fit in the milk crate and get all that that timer stuff. And I would love to start doing that again, just to go ahead and set up interesting shows. But yeah, now that I'm much slower, and hitting the deck means it's 20 minutes of trying to get my fat ass back up. Yeah, I'll let the younger people do that.
You got to do the grandpa thing. You go out and buy the fireworks and then hand them off to the young kids and say, "Here, kids, go have fun."
No, I would never do that. Yeah, my son sometimes will be like, "We're doing what?" Because sometimes we'll go out and we'll do the stuff at his place. It's like, all right, do this. Beware, this is going to, and it's like, I'm going to hide right around the corner here because I can't hit the deck like you can. That tube's a little hot, so who knows if we're going to get the ample lift out of it before it goes off.
Have you ever double stacked the mortar tube?
No. I have had mortar tubes knocked over and fired at my pickup truck that was leaking gas severely badly while I was in the middle of driving said pickup truck to the event. That was fun. And then I've also had them clear the tube by 6 inches as me and my best friend were simul lighting. And one went off like 6 inches above the tube. One went 12 inches above the tube. We have no idea why, but apparently it was a spectacular sight to behold because it was our own little, MacGyver, jumping and had the explosion behind us moment. Although we did not get to witness it from the other end, and we did have to clean our drawers after.
Yeah.
If I may, let's see, how do I? That was the night I was talking about. There's a lot of stuff going off right there, and there I am, just standing there, about 6 feet away, going, "Yeah, well, maybe I should have worn earplugs." And
that's when.
Not only did I get a good video out of it, I got a good album cover out of it. Yeah. So yeah, and I had somebody remark, "What were you drinking that night?"
Well, I also know that my forehead is a lot stronger than my backhead, so I'd rather take it in the face and get it in the back of the head.
Oh,
it may bounce on the forehead.
Oh, yeah. Things that go boom are fun in small doses, but when they're in large doses, not so much.
Well, that's saying if you see me running, keep up. And if we ever see Rich running, just kill whatever's behind him.
Really? I don't have to outrun the bear. I just got to outrun you.
The National Park Service has issued a public safety warning that if you are being chased by a bear, do not push your friend down and try to run. Okay. Just stick together. Yeah.
Here's the thing. There's very few things in the world that can get me to run. I'm not going to run for my life because I'm not going to die tired. But that being said, I can kneecap some others and just walk on by while whatever's behind me is having dinner.
We went up to Camp Conestoga camping a few years, about a decade ago. And first thing we see when we get to the campground, we start setting up and everything. It's a big yellow sign next to the picnic table. It's a bear warning. There's bears in the area, kind of.
Hey, boo-boo, let's go get some picnic biscuits.
And of course, I had just gotten back from Iraq, so my Camelback has a pocket in it that, let's just say, it's the right size for a 9mm pistol.
That's enough to annoy a bear.
Not if you have several magazines.
And if you're really good at running and shooting at the same time, of course, you have had military training, so you probably
the trick is to run at the bear while you're shooting. That really just they're not used to that sort of shit. But
I got to be careful if I run at the bear. They might think something different, like, "Oh, hey,
well, you're big like a bear.
Sailor."
big hairy thing. Maybe it's looking for a mate."
With my luck, it'd be, I don't swing that way, boy.
Hey, this bear over here in the shirt's kind of cute.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
This is one of those nights where we didn't really have a topic, but one got chosen for us.
You'll find me 6 years later after a National Geographic show comes up.
Our bears, and,
Well, I mean, you showed us massive explosions in the air, and we just kind of ran with the theme.
Oh, I just saw something that I want to at least see once. Anvil shooting.
Okay,
say what now?
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Shooting at an anvil or using the anvil as a projectile?
Using the anvil as a projectile.
Putting explosives underneath the anvil and seeing how far you can get that anvil in the air. That I've never seen one live. I've seen a ton of them on YouTube and some other videos online, stuff like that, because at one point in time, I was interested in blacksmithing.
Rich, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Evidently, John has a large enough piece of cast iron pipe to use as an anvil cannon.
Is there? I've heard the story that it was actually a protest to the Union from the Confederates after the war to something about they wanted to take the anvils away from them. So they launched it so far up in the air that when it hit, it sunk so far in the ground you couldn't dig it out.
That's about even with the rumors I heard. But you know, rumors are rumors.
Now, is this on par with the nuclear propelled manhole cover story?
No,
they can get them 100.
It never fell back to Earth.
Yeah, you can get these things like 100 and so feet up in the air, and then, you know, good luck digging them out of the earth afterwards.
You know, I think the world record is like 300 feet for a 400-pound anvil.
What were they using to?
My bet is tannerite.
God, yeah.
Black powder.
Oh, really?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
They had to have a whole lot of it.
Well, black powder.
Or either that or somebody's really good at making shaped charges out of black powder.
Well, you have like a flat anvil, or you flip one anvil upside down. It's got a little cup in the bottom of it.
Uh-huh.
Well, what they did is they flipped the heavy anvil over, filled it up, hit masking tape over the top of it, filled up the second cup, and it had a little groove in the cup for the fuse. They ran the fuse there, and then they put the two together. When they lit the fuse, it went in, went boom.
sounds like they were using one anvil for a launching pad and the other one for a near-Earth asteroid. Oh God, Carl. Well, I did have one friend from work. He was fond. There's one job out there that kind of generates empty cardboard cylinders about 6 inches long, about 2.5 inches in diameter. And
we live in carpet country. We can get, you know.
I know you can get mortar sized things, but these were about, you know, this and about that, and he would make his own firecrackers with black powder, just stuff the darn things through, put a actual fuse out one end, and just light it and throw it off in the field. Boom! And I'm going, what? Tell me you don't go fishing with that. You know, very Crocodile Dundee thought went through my head the first time he set one of those off. And he goes, no. But it's good for scaring crows out of a cornfield. And I'm going, yeah, but how many corn stalks does it knock down? How many farmers are you going to get mad at you for clearing 1/2 an acre of their field? Oh, John, let's not talk about thermite. Got some spin on it.
Put some English on that one.
Yeah, really. Yeah, Carl, gunpowder would have worked fine to blow up, because gunpowder was used to blow up a lot of stuff for a long time. There was a fine tradition in pioneer days, let's see, probably Wild West days, of people that had land out in what is now Middle America, but wanted to clear trees and stuff, and they would wrap primer cord around a tree or several trees in succession and detonate the primer cord, and it would cut the trees down explosively. And wasn't good to be too close to, but apparently if you did it right, you were far enough distance away. Don't know. My memories are hazy of the 1840s.
Well, if you hit it right, I mean, one light you could take down, you know, 1.5 acres real quick.
Really?
Lay them all in the same direction.
They give a little hop and then fall over. Yeah. And you get lots of toothpicks in the bargain.
Oh, I'm gonna have to find that video again. This guy had to tear down a barn on his grandpa's farm.
Uh-huh.
Grandpa died. Property was sold off, and they wanted the barn tore down before they would close the deal. So 160 pounds of tannerite later.
Oh, good Lord.
I believe that barn got tore down, and some of it got tore up.
Use enough dynamite there, Butch?
I believe they didn't have to worry about, you know, digging a new foundation for anything.
No, because they made it halfway to China.
The basement and the next 3 sub-basements are already there.
That's definitely a scorched earth policy right there. course, there's a couple of counties around here. If you do that, it's not going to make a hole. It's just going to clear the dirt off of the rock that's underneath.
Yeah, 164 pounds.
Good Lord.
That's extreme fireworks, in my opinion, but I'm a rather cautious fellow. John's just looking down to take inventory of how much tannerite he's got in the office.
I have never actually used tannerite.
No, you've had access to C4.
Doesn't mean tannerite's not fun. Just, you know.
Doesn't mean it's not fun, but when you have
in the other room,
doesn't mean it's not fun, but when you have access to something better, I mean,
yeah, it just.
Oh Lord,
it's actually one of my favorite quotes. You know, once you blown stuff up with C4, you just really don't look at problems the same way ever again.
No. The video starts out. He goes, "This is the barn we're going to make go away."
well, they did just that.
I'm just going to show the quick sec. Do. Come on. It's gone.
Wait for the dust to clear. Yeah. I don't know. There's still two sticks nailed together. Gonna have to get another 160 pounds and fix that.
Why they didn't just set it on fire, I'll never know. But that did look fun.
Blowing it up was probably more fun than setting it on fire. Plus, you got to be careful with fire.
You got to be careful with tannerite. Let me see if I can find this one video to emphasize what I just said.
There are some volunteer fire departments that if you need, have an old barn like that you want to burn down.
Oh yeah,
they'll actually, light it on fire for you and use it as training.
Or house, or
cars,
warehouse. Yeah.
Nope. Dad and I used to do that. We wouldn't blow it up. We wouldn't burn it down. We'd take it apart and build a new barn out of it.
I don't think you build anything out of that barn.
But we could have done all kinds of stuff with the wood and the tin and everything else. If you just gave us two crowbars in about a week, we could have tore that thing down.
Shoot, get Barnwood Hunters. They'd have got the thing gone in a day.
Really?
And hauled it out on a tractor trailer.
Yeah, there would be somebody out there that would pay for that for paneling and floor wood and
oh yeah,
just go to town with it.
Carl says he'd like to, with an old barn like that, he'd find the weakest part and see how little explosive it would take to collapse it.
With some of them, all it would take would be a stiff breeze, Carl.
Yeah.
Well, some things would only take a taco fart. Especially Joe Dogs.
It's back this way. There was an old barn standing there for probably since the late 1800s, early 1900s, and it finally just fell over on its own. What?
Is that the one where the guy catches the...
I've seen this.
I believe it caught the camera, among other things. I would have said he was too close, but he's a terrible shot.
What fresh hell was that?
I don't know. All right, my turn.
Islands in the stream. Yeah, like I said, that they were definitely a little bit too close for how much they had applied to that appliance. And what was it? 5 shots before he actually hit the target?
At least. And I did. It's apparently he didn't have the target marked very well, so. Or he's just a lousy shot on it.
Daddy could have done that from half a mile away.
When I was going through the 12 Bravo course for light combat engineers, we were down at Fort McClellan, Alabama, which is right outside of Anniston. And they had closed it as an Army base. Mm-hmm. And all it was National Guard and local law enforcement using the facility.
Yeah.
But they still had a big National Guard presence. And we went out there and we were learning to use these new explosives that the Army had just gotten, which is MDI, Modern Demolition Initiators.
Okay.
And it's the stuff they've been using in the mining industry for 40 years. It's just the Army finally said, this stuff looks pretty cool, and decided to get with the times, so to speak.
Let's play with it.
And they got all these regular explosives for us to play with, and then brought in all the MDI stuff. So we had a lot of stuff to blow up, and not a lot of range time because of the weather and such. And they brought us Bangalore torpedo sections, which is fine to blow up, 1 or 2. But if you order it, you have to get a whole case. That's 12 sections. 12 pounds to a section. And
sections of what?
Bangalore torpedoes.
Oh.
It's the big metal tube filled with composition B explosive, about 4 foot long. And it's got connectors, and you hook them together, and you run them up underneath the wire obstacle. When you blow it up, it blows all the barbed wire everywhere.
And anything else that's in the way.
Actually, you can sit pretty close to them, as long as you're not off to the side.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of a shape charge thing.
Yeah.
It's designed to blow up and cut the wire, but it doesn't really blow back or blow forward, strangely enough.
Mm-hmm.
So we have these sections left, and we had to do something with it. And Fort McClellan used to be home to the military police school and the chemical warfare school. And it's where they trained all the chemical warfare people to run the chemical warfare equipment, and where they trained the MPs to do the MP stuff. So we're out there at this range, and there's this big, I guess, for lack of a better term, there's this big pile of old military police Jeeps, which is basically just regular Army Jeep. They just, where the windshield wipers are, the cover for the windshield wipers is white and says military police. So there were a bunch of those sitting out there. I asked the guy who's running the range, I says, it's a shame we can't blow up some old Jeeps. He goes, why not? I says, well, we don't have permission. He says, it's my range. I can do what I want to. He's the range NCOIC, the head mofo in charge.
Gotta love it when you've got one like that.
Yep. So we pushed one out into our little impact, our explosion area. We pushed one out, and we put a Bangalore torpedo right behind the front tires. And we put some other explosives out there too. But that's the only thing we did to the Jeep, just to see what it would do to a vehicle if you use it. There's an improvised munitions thing where you can use one as a landmine.
Yeah.
And because of that weird shape charge effect I was telling you about, if the tank runs over it, it'll cut the treads.
Okay.
So we put it right behind the front tires. We lit that sucker up. There's a huge cloud of gray smoke. You saw the back half of the Jeep from the firewall back crash back. We pushed it out about 150 feet from where it had been parked. It went back where it started.
Oh, shit.
And I assume it was no longer in neutral.
The hood went about 800 feet in the air, close, about 300 meters, came back down. And one of the engine parts, or suspension parts, I'm not sure which, I think it was a tie rod end or something like that, landed behind us. We were 300 yards away.
Thank God there was no collateral damage.
The tires were gone. I mean, just
Yeah.
rims, brakes, rubber, everything gone. The engine, that little 4-cylinder engine they've got in them, couldn't find it.
That's not shocking.
Basically, everything in front of the firewall disintegrated, and the hood went. And that was, the only thing. But it was kind of funny. Did not break the windshield. I was like, oh my God. It did, however, blow the gas cap off the fuel tank. The fuel tank is right underneath the driver's seat. And the gas cap's right next to the driver. Blew the gas cap off, and there were flames coming out of the gas. It's a pretty big gas opening, about the size of the opening's about that big around. So, but there's flames coming out of it, but there wasn't really any gasoline in it. It was just residue. So it was kind of funny. It looked like a little, like one of the old kerosene lanterns. But everybody loved that.
Did we do it again? Yeah.
No, actually, that was our last Bangalore torpedo section. Thank God.
Oh, you should have tried one lengthways of the Jeep and see how far it would split it in half long ways.
It would have been dangerous because it would have literally disintegrated the Jeep when you had shit going all over North Alabama.
I'm sure North Alabama will survive, but
back then, Anniston Army Depot was where they kept not all of it. They kept a bunch of the nerve agent that the U.S. military had at the time, and it was I think that was one of the places where they could incinerate it. I'm not sure if they just stored it there until
they incinerated down.
Yeah, they had an incinerator there. Okay, I thought they did, but let's just say out of all the places that they incinerated nerve agent, I think that was the one that had the most problems. Not that it was bad or not that they had any fatalities or something like that, but that incinerator kept breaking down. So, But they actually had posters that if the siren went off, that there was something wrong with the nerve agent burn. You're supposed to go to this it's like a fire drill kind of thing. You're supposed to go to this facility, close the door, duct tape the windows, that sort of stuff. I had a friend lived up in
kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah, I had a friend lived up in Indiana, near Fort Wayne, and there was an Army depot up there that also got rid of nerve agent. They had the same thing. It was everybody in their house got a flyer in the mail that told them, and a roll. They gave them a free roll of duct tape. How nice is that?
Explains a lot about Northern Indiana now.
Hey,
not that I would ever turn down a free roll of duct tape, but
hey, John, Hey, as bad as the incinerator was in Anniston, it wasn't bad as the one in Noble, Georgia.
That's not funny. My grandma got cremated there. We think.
But did she get a free roll of duct tape?
No.
No, that's a story for another show.
Oh, that wasn't the Tri-County, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I know about that one. You hope your grandma was cremated there.
She was.
What was funny is I just drew a blank on his name. Damn it. Comedian. Shoot, I forgot his name.
Two words.
I need to buy a vowel.
He did the original 12 Redneck Days of Christmas. Then Jeff Foxworthy took it.
Oh, now you got it.
Cletus T. Judd?
No.
I was waiting to hear the clicking of a keyboard for someone looking it up.
Tim Wilson?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's his name, Tim Wilson. He was at the Comedy Catch, and he had heard the story of the Tri-State Crematorium, and he wrote a song about it. And he was playing, he was doing his act at the Comedy Catch, and he started singing, crematory for sale, crematory for sale. You have to borrow a lighter from the neighbor to get it to light, stuff like that. And then all of a sudden,
he didn't get any laughs.
No, it's like, why is everybody looking at me that way? And somebody says, that happened about 5-10 miles from here. He went, what?
And this is why you should always research the area you're going into.
You got to know your crowd.
Yeah, that one was notorious for lots of reasons.
We got both kinds of music here, country and western.
Yeah. Actually, that's one of his lines.
What were Jeffrey Dahmer's famous last words? I eat guys like you for breakfast.
Tim Wilson wasn't a comedian you really mucked with. Up in Nashville, this guy was heckling him.
Didn't he do the song Chuck E. Cheese Hell?
Yep. Yeah. This guy was heckling him so bad. Tim, he tried to be nice. Finally, Tim says, one more and I'm coming off the stage and whooping your ass. The guy says, you can't do that. You'll get in trouble and can't come back to this club. He says, they ain't paid me yet. Boom!
Can't remember who the comedian was, but some drunk guy in the audience was heckling him real bad. His wife went over there and beat the shit out of the guy.
Oh, jeez.
While he's like, honey, no. And she just over there grabbed the guy. He had a mullet. Grabbed him by the back of the mullet and just started punching him in the ear. They got the whole thing on video. It's hilarious. It's the best show he ever did.
I could almost see Misty doing that, except it'd be more like biting their ankle. That's all she can reach.
I remember Rodney Dangerfield was telling one joke, and he's actually going. I'm trying to get the exact quote in my mind, but it's something about, there are some town names that just sound so innocent and so soft, and like Pleasantville. I believe I could whoop the ass of anybody that was in Pleasantville. And then he looks at the crowd and goes, yeah. And now there's going to be some guy that's 6'8" and about 5 feet wide standing outside the stage door when I leave tonight going, ha! Pleasantville, huh? I know I didn't tell that one well, but Rodney always did better.
Well, here's the thing. You've always got places like that where you've got places that just have this really, hey, Carrie, wussy-ish sounding name. And you're like, oh, all the people from there, I could take them easy. Here's the thing. Most of the people from there have spent their life taking a beating and can probably deliver one right on back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, his name is Melville. He's got to be a nerd. He's built like a frickin' tank. What the hell did I do?
Well, you heard about the Alabama football players, didn't you? After the Tennessee game, one of their cheerleaders got assaulted by a guy named Clarence. So the football team all piled in the back of a truck, and they've headed to Knoxville. About halfway up, half of them were beating on the cab of the truck, going, pull over, pull over, pull over. What's wrong? He said, what's this guy's name again? Clarence. No, we're going home. Why? We got to defend our cheerleader's honor. No, didn't you see them signs back there? Clarence, 13'10".
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Lord. Oh.
I actually got Dan on a good bad joke.
Oh.
If I wanted this kind of abuse, I would have stayed upstairs with my wife.
I don't even think Jesus can abuse that, or not abuse. I don't even think Jesus would go ahead and cleanse you of that sin. Holy Christ on a cracker.
Oh. No, they're just.
And I knew that's where he was going. Jesus Christ.
There's just some combination of words that just you shouldn't ever use, and that was one of them. But
Richard, wait for him to tell a good joke. I think you got your wish.
No, I'm still waiting. That one was still.
Well, Dan thought it was funny.
Still waiting for the Taco Bell sun to wear off before you can get close in the hazmat suit.
Well,
dear.
Y'all saw the other day where I posted that Alabama is the most internationally forward-thinking state in the country. Yeah. In Europe, it is very common for first cousins to get married. Alabama is the only state in the country that allows first cousins to get married. They're European-thinking people.
This is not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, but Europe also gave us France.
Having driven through Alabama with my doors locked,
I don't think I'm going to be welcome down there for a while.
That's all right. You keep the windows tinted. Nobody will ever know.
You're driving around an old Ryder rental truck. You'll fit right in.
Well,
yes.
Now,
yes.
My sister lives just outside Birmingham, and
on purpose.
Yeah. Well, my daughter, there was some good schools down there, so I let my sister take my daughter to Alabama for school. And we showed up, you know, we would go down on the weekends to see her. We went down one weekend and it was Halloween weekend. They were having a Halloween party. And they wanted me to, well, what are you going to do? You know, you got to have a costume to go to the Halloween party. And I said, hold on a minute. Pulled out my Tennessee hat, pulled out my front teeth. They go, said, well, what are you? I'm a Tennessee fan. They actually loved it.
Sometimes the simplest and easiest costumes are the best.
Yes.
Of course, when I got home, I used the same costume with an Alabama hat.
Did you know that the toothbrush was invented in Alabama?
Yeah.
If it had been invented anywhere else, it would have been called a teeth brush.
On that note.
Yeah. And there goes the few viewers we had from Alabama. Oh.
What is the best thing that ever came out of Alabama?
I-59 North.
I-59.
I-59 North. Or 65.
As I say, for me, that'd be 65 because that's how I would take to get back towards home.
Oh, and if Stephanie's listening, you need to get in here more often, so we'll quit talking about Alabama.
Well, that's a different one.
What?
One of Tim Wilson's songs. I'm going to have to put it over into banners because I'm not going to say that. There we go.
Please tell me you work with somebody with that name, Rich.
No.
Damn.
Oh, that's not good.
What?
That's really not good. Fire truck, lights on, no siren, parked in front of my building. Well, between our two buildings.
Yeah, are they spraying water at your house?
No.
Then you're good. Is an ambulance out there as well?
Not yet, at least.
So usually they call the fire truck in to be the muscle for the ambulance people in case they have to drag a 300 or 400 pound person out of the house. So, the two people in the ambulance can't do it.
Have you got security cameras around your apartment?
No.
Are you tied into the security system?
Yeah, plug us in. We want to watch.
He's looking for a way to do it.
He's thinking about it.
Where do I have this plugged into?
Dan, you missed it.
I heard it.
The Rick Wilson song or Tim Wilson song.
I heard you mention it.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
I'm not going to say that.
There's probably a dozen of them around here.
Have you ever heard of a lounge singer named Dick Cheese? If you ever get a chance, look it up on YouTube. He's actually pretty good.
Why do I let you schedule my show in advance?
What do you mean? Did I do something wrong?
How am I going to follow this?
Up your game, pal. Up your game.
Keisha, you got some splaining to do.
Now, this is interesting. First Baptist Bar and Grill.
That's a good one.
Oh.
I'll give you the synopsis. Oh, hey, we do have camera. Of course, it knocked him off the internet. Figures.
Whoa.
First Baptist Bar and Grill, the church burns down. So the guy next door runs a bar and grill, and since, according to state law, he can't open his bar and grill for bar and grill services because he serves alcohol while church is in session. So being the nice guy that he, and the church has always been giving him crap about having a bar and grill right next door to the church, but being the nice guy that he is, he offers them to let them do their church services in the bar and grill. And it's hilarious. Give it a chance.
Gives a whole new meaning to communion, don't it?
The communion wine is chilled. That was one of the lines in the song, actually.
So, Keisha, I have to ask, what made you decide to try that? Or was that just kind of happened upon by accident?
Oh, well, that's interesting. Okay. Well, here in town, I don't know if they're still in service because they closed the Palomino bar. But there used to be, it was, also known as Palomino Bar, also known as the Gun and Knife Club. If you didn't have a gun or knife when you got there, they'd issue you one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to be careful of them loners.
Yeah. On Sunday morning, they had the cowboy church preacher to go to it, and it was the only church service you'd ever see where people are smoking Marlboros and drinking beer. And I swear it really was. Singing country style church songs.
Oh, what was it? The blue collar comedy tour.
Yeah.
They did the joke about what's the funniest thing you ever heard at a funeral? Everybody's looking at him. He goes, "What?"
I waited till he said amen. Just knowing I've got the voice for that. I mean, seriously, I can do that accent so well. There was a sci-fi writer that had one that he used in one particular story, and it was set out in the Wild West. But basically, there was a place out there the locals went to was called Mike's Bar and Girl.
Mike's Bar and Girl.
Yes.
It was not a misspelling. I'll let you let that soak in. It was a very popular place. Evidently, Mike was a good cook.
Mm-hmm.
Old-fashioned girl names. Ooh. Not that I want to be responsible for inflicting on anybody's child. No. There are all kinds of really nice old-fashioned names, but they don't play well with the modern audience, some of them.
They actually got a church now. It's called the Carpenter's Cowboy Church. I'll throw a link on into the Stupid O'Clock page.
Let's see.
I think we screwed up Rich's computer.
I wasn't anywhere near there. I told him not to use Bill's Wi-Fi.
I was going to say, I've been burning wood, so I am innocent.
Keisha's asking if you have old-fashioned girl names she'd like to let you know. Evelyn, Irene, Clara,
Gladys, Bernice,
Ethel,
yeah,
Ruth,
Agnes,
Esther, Jennifer, Mary.
Carl just said Lucille.
Elizabeth.
Keisha, I do believe,
Eve.
given your history, Lilith is a bad choice.
Depends
Well,
on the kid.
Go with Lucille. Call her Lucy for short. And if they turn out to be a little demon, switch it to Lucifer.
Lucifer. Yes.
Well, that is kind of gender neutral, isn't it? Nope. Ping.
Fries are done?
Rich is back.
Oh.
He got the security camera hacked in.
I think he just unplugged picked his camera up, pointed it out the window.
I have an external camera for my work computer.
Ah.
I was right. They did hose down his house.
No. Evidently, he's across the quad. So,
Keisha says it's not allowed to call it Annabelle because he doesn't want it to come out evil.
There is an ambulance right over there. As for old-fashioned names, I am very partial to Loretta and Edna. Those are the first names of my two biological grandmothers.
all right. If you want a Dark Shadows influence, you could always go with Lizette.
Ooh,
And then
there you go.
And then my great grandmother, who was also my great aunt, was Augusta.
Excuse me.
I still say Lucille. Go with the short form Lucy, and then gives you a little bit of room to play there.
You could name her Yes Dear. That way her husband gets trained early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's comedian? Who was the comedian talking about his daughter having her friend over? Her name was Lucy. But she was
Bill Engvall.
Bill Engvall. Yeah.
She was a little goth chick.
Yeah.
He was trying real hard not to laugh at her. And Lucy Fur.
You know, Bill Engvall has retired from stand-up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, him and
Foxworthy. Yeah, Ron White.
Ron White,
yeah,
for health reasons. But
yeah, they kept closing the bar.
And Bill's a grandpa, so that's.
Do what?
Bill's a grandpa.
Yeah.
He's a wee bit busy now.
But is he his own grandpa?
Wait till somebody invents a time machine. He will be.
Oh, Keisha goes, thoughts on the name Eloise. That's
actually quite pretty.
Mm-hmm. That is. And Old Gods of Appalachia, one of the characters is Eloise, if they call her Ellie for short.
Well, I do know if you have a 68 Shelby GT 500, gray with black stripes, don't call it Eleanor. Yeah, don't call it Eleanor.
Rich, can you come here, please?
Oh.
1 second, I got to go take care of the wife.
All right.
Okay.
a name that I would like to see make a comeback, besides Elizabeth, is Victoria.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another Dark Shadows reference, Victoria Winters.
Well, I was actually thinking about Queen Victoria.
Yes, I know you were.
Well, John, if it'll make you happy, my granddaughter's name is Mary Elizabeth. We call her Mary Beth.
They couldn't decide which queen they liked.
Yeah.
Oh. Dare I do that? I would embarrass my wife.
Holy snarkies.
What?
What? This.
Let's see. Another reason I like Esther. Okay, Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
I'm coming to see you.
Join you, Elizabeth.
Oh, that was Elizabeth. Esther was the sister.
Esther, yeah. And Esther. Yeah.
And you know those two were best friends in real life?
Yep.
Uh-huh. And he
got her the job.
She used to be a vocalist with big bands, I do believe.
Yeah.
That, and she was a modern dance. She did modern dance, and she was in a lot of the same classes with Michelle Nichols, who was also into modern dance.
Well, I was thinking more when she was a quite younger girl. I've seen a couple of pictures from back in the day, and she was quite a looker.
Yep.
Oh.
I hate to say I can't remember her name. Let me look that up real quick.
Oh dear. Now, I did have a grandmother named Wilhelmina.
LaWanda Page.
LaWanda Page.
Yeah.
Died in 2002.
Oh.
Let's see.
See if I can get this finished before the show ends.
What are you doing? Making not the green room?
No, finishing up a wood burning from my show last night.
I don't know if the camera will be able to do justice to this, but and it's backwards.
No, we see
No,
it.
we can see it right.
Airship pirate.
Feed 'em up.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know why you ran out of black ink.
Yeah. Well, Her Majesty Lady Carol Elizabeth Victoria Santos y Bolivar, elected Queen of Venezuela 1850 to 1885. Approach with caution. Y'all, if I ever get that story out there, it's a fun ride, let me tell you. A really, really fun ride. And it's steampunk, naturally, but let's see if it'll do any justice to this one. This was a cover I did for my little collection of the story.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's almost as good as of course it's better, but I mean, it looks like part of this, Dan.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, and I just found a picture that John would
especially that part. Oh.
I just found a picture that John would appreciate.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me throw this one up there. That is a young LaWanda Page.
Indeed.
Okay.
How do you get a waist that tiny without a corset?
Who said she didn't have on a corset?
That costume ain't got room for one.
Had room for her.
All right.
Just barely.
Now you know how steel-belted radials got invented.
Joe Dog, I think you'll like this one.
Yeah.
Was that the one you're working on last night live?
Yeah, this is the one I didn't finish on the show. I was running out of steam.
I was watching that, by the way. So. You need more light in your studio, kid.
Yeah. Well, for whatever reason, when I'm on my Mac here, I look a lot darker.
Yes.
If I was on my Windows computer, I don't know if it's probably the screens more than anything, because I'm about the same distance sitting at this desk from the screens as I am the other one, but those screens seem a lot brighter.
Yeah, my mom was complaining. Apparently she'd been watching the show or one of the rebroadcasts or something like that.
Oh,
it was one of those shows where the lights made me look exceptionally red. Oh, it's this one. Yeah, this is the grow light over here.
What'd she say about you being red?
Oh, she thought I had a blood infection or something.
Just from the beard down.
And with that, guys, we got to say goodnight, everybody.
We do, and Dan's got to go run his own damn show.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah,
I appreciate your early bedtime.
Good night, and good night, Rich. If you can still hear us, we'll see everybody.
Thanks for showing up, Rich, and Zach. He
Zach
went to do a phone call and never got back to us. So thank you, Zach, for coming on the show and talking about rockets that don't rocket.
And
good night.
All right. Yeah. Good night.
Slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand, and touched the face of God.